Hello everyone, and they're finally here, the Digimon Pendulum Color, Nature Spirits, Deep Savers, and Nightmare Soldiers. So versions 1, 2, and 3 of the Digimon Pendulum series. So it's in a similar way that we had the Digital Monster Color releases, which were color versions of the original releases, with a few quality of life improvements and additional characters and Digimon added to it. These are the same as that, except obviously inspired by the Digimon Pendulum. Now, something that was surprising is that I would have been I would have bet money that at Digimon Con yesterday, the last 3 versions would have been announced for the Digimon Color. That didn't happen. I'm still expecting them to be announced at some point, maybe for the Digimon Pendulum anniversary this year, which is in a few months, so maybe. But the Digimon Con, after all, was more focused on the 25th anniversary of the Digimon anime, rather than focusing on any of the virtual pets. So let's get into it. This is, of course, just an unboxing video. I will be doing a review at a later date, like I always do, once I've had a little bit of time to hang out with these guys. And I'm going to struggle at opening this box because it is fairly tight. Maybe I should have opened it from the top, but there's some extra tape there, so hopefully I can open this up. I did pre-open the bottom, but apparently that's not giving me any joy, because I'm apparently just terrible at opening these boxes, and now I'll make everyone nervous with my my klutzy hands doing the... Okay, I'm also still... help if I actually remember the tape. My klutzy hands using scissors in such a precarious way. Let's see, I don't want to rip the boxes, but yeah, that's incredibly tight. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with that. I'm just going to do the bottom again. Yep, there we are. Apparently third time was the charm for that. So yes, I will be doing my usual review video of these once I've had some time to hang out with them. So we get our charging cable. It's USB-C, same as the Digimon Color, which is great because basically everything nowadays is USB-C. And we have Triceramon on the front there. Yeah, I can't imagine these being too different from the Digimon Color, which was just the digital monster. Of course, we have the charging port there, and presumably it's just a matter of pressing the C button, like with the DMC. There we are, that's very high-pitched. The Triceramon silhouette there looks almost like some damage on the screen, because it just looks like a big crack. And that's a good question, what is the time? Always terrible at this. But yeah, so I got these from, and this video is not sponsored by anyone, so I got these from Hobby Genki, which it's fairly new to me. I have only been using them fairly recently because I wanted to give them a shot. A lot of people were recommending them, especially after the release of the Digimon Color. They were incredibly quick, essentially shipping out the Digimon Color before release, or on the release date or the day before, which everyone was very impressed by. I didn't go with my Digimon Colors from them, but after everyone recommended them so much, I decided to get my Pendulum Colors from them. So, and I feel like a lot of people also got their Pendulum Colors from them because of the stories they heard about how good they were for the Digimon Color release, and they didn't ship them out until, I think it was about March 4th, and they released on February 22nd. So it wasn't like a super long wait, like I don't mind waiting, but, you know, still, that's a little bit of a delay, but of course, it's understandable. The February 22nd weekend was a holiday weekend in Japan anyway, and it released on the Friday, so that's fine, like, it's a little bit of a wait, but I would expect it was because everybody decided to order their Pendulum Colors from Hobby Genki because of everyone's glowing reviews, which does kind of happen. The overall ordering process on Hobby Genki is quite good. It's not as easy as Japan You Want or Zen and TCG or Hobby Link Japan, and it honestly, and this is maybe a bit of a concern, it reminds me of ordering from Nippon Yasan, which were very, very good. They had pay later options. They often had premium Bandai things for basically the best prices and most reasonable prices around, and they were very good until the pandemic, which obviously a lot of places had issues during the pandemic, but they became incredibly slow, like a month, and then you might get your payment request like a month after release. So they kind of got bad around 2020, but were really good before then. Were really good with shipping out early, would get premium Bandai things, and yeah, they were very good. But something happened in 2020, and they stopped being so good. And then unfortunately in, I believe, 2021 they shut down because I guess people were using them less and they were already struggling. So the worse that they performed, less people wanted to buy from them and went with other options. And then they just sort of shut down, which is a shame. I heard of a lot of people who didn't do pay later for a few of their orders from Nippon Yasan, and they paid up front. Yeah, again, the silhouette looks like damage. So unfortunately that meant that when Nippon Yasan vanished, when they just closed and shut down one day, obviously a lot of people were out of money, but they were good while they were around, and honestly that the whole ordering process reminds me exactly of Nippon Yasan, which I'm not saying that they're related at all, they're just incredibly similar, but imagine if Hobby Genki is just Nippon Yasan but returned, because everything about it feels very similar. They're not the only one to have pay later, and I do appreciate when a shopfront offers pay later. Hobby Link Japan does, Army does, and I use those whenever I can because they are probably my favourites. They've been around the longest. I feel, I guess, the most confident with them that they're not going to just vanish like Nippon Yasan, but they don't often have everything that I want. They don't have the pendulum colours, for example. So yeah, I got these from Hobby Genki, not sponsored or anything. They're also available from Zen and TCG, Japan You Want, the usual resellers. You can buy them directly from Japan using a proxy service like From Japan or Buy. I've done videos on that process quite a few times before, but in terms of, I just remembered that the pendulums, you can shake the egg for a better chance of evolving, but I'm not sure if that's the same with the pendulum color, but it doesn't hurt to try. So yeah, that was a bit of a spiel about previous shop fronts. But Nippon Yasan was good, and again, I'm kind of worried about Hobby Genki. Like, please, can we not have another pandemic? For many reasons, obviously, but I would worry about Hobby Genki. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. I saw some people being very negative about Hobby Genki being a little bit slow, but from my understanding, they are new. They are newer than all the other stores that are around. Japan You Want's been around for quite a while now. I want to say about a decade. At least I've been using it for 7 years, I think. And then, of course, there's Zen and TCG, which is new and is just getting bigger and better. Again, this video is not sponsored by anybody. Zen and TCG have sponsored me in the past and will likely sponsor me in the future as well. So obviously, I like them. Like, when they're not sponsoring me, I still like them. I still use them, and I wouldn't really recommend something that I don't use. But you can still go through them, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they still have them in stock. Same with Japan You Want. I feel like Hobby Genki have them in stock as well. But yeah, so just thought I'd mention that because, look, even when I do mention where I get my stuff, I still get people in the comments asking me where I get them. So hopefully the fact that I just spoke about it for about 6 minutes there kind of points out, hey, these are the places you can get these. Again, they are premium Bandai items, so they're going to have the premium Bandai pricing, which is dumb prices for what you get compared to, I don't know, like a Digimon 20th or a DMX, which are $20-ish or something. But of course, there's also the fact that if you want a Digimon Color or a Digimon Pendulum Color, because it's premium Bandai or any premium Bandai product, it's best to, one, pre-order, and if you can't pre-order, buy it as soon as and as closest to the release as possible, because there is the chance of them going up in price. So that's something I always try to recommend. Obviously, you can't buy from Premium Japan directly if you're not in Japan. That's why proxy services are around, depending on where you are in the world or what shipping options you go for. Proxies may be more expensive or less expensive than buying them from resellers like Zen and TCG, Japan You Want, Hobby Genki, or anywhere else. So yeah, just a bit of a spiel about where to get them. Also, I do like that there's the poo noise. And something I heard, which I'm pretty excited about, is they improved the training. So they made it more obvious. Of course, on the original, you kind of had to guess what the number of shakes were for each Digimon, because each Digimon has different shakes. But the colour actually changes when you've done enough shakes. I think yellow is when it's good and you're meant to stop there. Not sure. That's just what I heard. Maybe it's easier if I shake up this way. Maybe that's the colour. Yeah, I think that looks like the colour. So you shake until it's that colour. Which, yes, makes it easier, and some people would prefer the challenge of trying to count the counts, but I do appreciate that little bit of quality of life. And of course, because it's a pendulum colour, because it's the Digimon colour, it has the backgrounds that presumably change depending on the time of day, which, yeah, is probably my favourite thing. It's just such a cute little feature that depending on the time of day, the background changes to sort of reflect, like, dusk or dawn, night. I really do like that, and I'm assuming that the pendulum colour has that feature as well. And there is, of course, the other backgrounds, which is cute, and of course you get backgrounds depending on what you connect to, similar to the Digimon colour, and the second background's the same. And of course you'll notice that the menu here is in English. A lot of people do ask what languages it's in, but yeah, so it's in English, which is super easy, so you don't have to read Japanese for it. I still prefer the use of icons like we've seen with the Tamagotchi Nano, but it's also fine. And of course, we have the option to power it off, which is always great because maybe you don't want to run 3, maybe you are busy during the day and can't look after all of them and don't really feel like putting it on pause. I do appreciate that there's that power option there. And then of course, there's the sound, which gives you mute, soft, loud, which, again, I also appreciate that quite a bit because, and this is the same as what the DMC had, because I don't want it to be super loud. And maybe I don't want it on mute all the time. I typically have my virtual pets on mute. But I do appreciate that. And there's also the brightness, which, depending on the brightness you have, obviously the battery will last longer or shorter, depending on the brightness. But so that's my first impressions and my unboxing for the Pendulum Color. Again, I'll do my review at some point, I suppose. There's quite a bit that I have to do videos on. Digimon Seekers just ended. We've got some new stuff coming out, the usual. So, and also Digimon Dream has ended as well. Is that evolving? Hey, cool, we get an evolution. I do like the jingles. And then we have Motimon. So, those are my first impressions for the Digimon Pendulum. Thanks for watching. Let me know your comments, questions, etc. in the comments section below. Like this video for Digimon Pendulum Mon. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell your enemies. And of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!